Glory to Jesus Christ. I am Father Basil Salkowski, OSBM, member of the Order of St. Basil the Great, and I am the pastor of the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin Mary Ukrainian Catholic Church. I'm going to give you a very brief history of this parish. As you may think, when you come to Palos Park and look at this beautiful newly built church, you will assume it is a very new brand parish. Rather, this parish is just about to celebrate its 100th anniversary from the foundation back in 1911, when we had only, I believe, a few parishes, if I'm not mistaken, only one Ukrainian Catholic church in the very heart of Chicago, that is St. Nicholas Parish, today's cathedral. There were people living on the south side of Chicago, around Paulina Street and the 40 numbers. The church was actually on 49 and Paulina Street on the south side of Chicago. The Ukrainians turned to Bishop Ortinsky, Bishop Soter Ortinsky, asking him for his blessings to begin a new parish. And the bishop sent to these parishioners the very first pastor, the very first priest who was going to be taking care of the people on the south side, by the name of Father Michael Pradhan. He was a diocesan priest, and he came in, and immediately around 1912 he built a bought a hall where the people got together, and little by little they began to create a community. In 1919 they built a larger church and began to grow. Soon, due to the First War and also the great economic crisis here in the United States of the 1930s, the parish really struggled quite a bit, especially because they had begun to build a larger church. They made some big dream come true and began building this church where they could not finish building the church. They had to borrow money. They took a loan of $40,000 and were able to finish building the church, but could not pay off the debts. And in 1937, the parish was declared bankrupt. A businessman was going to buy the church, rather he bought the church, and he was going to transform it into a funeral home. At that very moment, the parishioners, totally desperate, turned out to the Basilian Fathers who were serving St. Nicholas Parish in Chicago, and they asked for help. And the Basilian Fathers agreed to help out, but with the intent of taking the administration of the parish as well. That is, taking over the administration of the parish. So they came in 1937, paid off that debt of $40,000, and began to renovate the church. Immediately the number of parishioners grew. Immediately they began to be very generous, and there was even enough money to make the necessary repairs in the church. Looking at the growth of the parish, they, in 1955, opened a grade school by the church. We had the sisters assisting, the Basilian sisters teaching at the school, and that school lasted all the way until 1975. It was closed due to the fact that many of our parishioners moved out of that area. Work became very scarce, there was not enough work, and a lot of the people moved out, and consequently the parish could not hold the school, and so therefore the school was folded in 1975, and also due to the fact that these people moved out and the whole neighborhood began to struggle, poverty and the so-called strange elements coming into the neighborhood. Our priests began to think about moving out, and around that time they bought the new piece of land in Palos Park. And here in Palos Park in 1993 we opened the doors to the new church, and which was built under the leadership of our very known to us here in the Chicago area, Father Abraham Miller, who was the pastor on Paulina. He made the transfer, he made the arrangements for the building of the new church, and we opened the doors here to new parishioners in 1993. With that move, many of our parishioners actually dropped off. But on the other hand, we picked up parishioners from other areas from the neighborhood here. Today, this parish has, give it or take it, about 115 families. We have many a times bilingual services. A lot of the times they will be done in Ukrainian as well, just strictly in Ukrainian. We carry catechism classes for the children on Sundays, and having such a nice facility, such a beautiful grounds here, we hope that this parish, especially with the incentives of celebrating the 100th anniversary of its foundation, next year we will pick up new parishioners, new people to join us, and we are very open to accept Ukrainians living in the South Side, people that are Catholics and love our rite and want to join us in our rite are very welcome, and we are open to receive you and to serve you. So this is briefly saying it is the history of the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Ukrainian Catholic Church on the south side of Chicago. Thank you.
на віки вічні. Святий Боже, святий кріпкий, святий безсмертний, помилуй, святий кріпкий, святий безсмертний, помилуй нас.
Вислухайте ви, Господи, день державі, захистить тебе ім'я Бога Якова. The Lord will hear you in the day of tribulation. The name of God of Jacob will shield you.
Let us be attentive. At that time, Jesus took Peter, James, and John, his brother, and led them on a high mountain by themselves. And he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, his clothes became white as light. And behold, Moses and Elijah stood with them, conversing with him. Then Peter said to Jesus in reply, Lord, it is good for us to be here. Let us, if you wish, I will make 3 tents here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. While he was still speaking, behold, a bright cloud cast a shadow over him. Then from the cloud came a voice that said, This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. When the disciples heard this, they fell prostrate and were very much afraid. But Jesus came and touched them, and saying, Rise, do not be afraid. And when the disciples raised their eyes, they saw no one else but Jesus alone. Будьмо уважні. У той час взяв Ісус до Ісуса, Господи, добре нам тут бути. Як хочеш, зроблю тут 3 намети. Один для тебе, один для Мойсея і один для Іллі. Він говорив ще, аж ось ясна хмара огорнула їх, і з хмари було чути голос. Це мій син улюблений, якого я вподобав. Його слухайте. Почувши це, учні впали лицем до землі і злякались дивні. Ісус же підійшов, доторкнувся до них і каже, встаньте і не бійтеся. Підвівши очі, вони не бачили нічого, крім самого Ісуса. Коли сходили з гори, Ісус наказав їм, нікому не розповідайте про це видіння, аж поки Син чоловічий не воскресне із